Last night, Tommy did his law stream where he planned to finally end the reign of Dream and assassinate him while he was stuck in prison. Unfortunately, Tommy's plan would fall through when he tried to pull out his axe way too early than what he should have, ultimately getting himself caught by Sam in the process. Today, we're going to be going over what happened in the back end of that law stream, as well as put together the theory of what could be happening in the Dream SMP next. But before that, I'd like to ask you guys to check down below if you are subscribed, as the most people who watch stuff on my channel consistently aren't even subscribed. It'd be highly appreciated if you just check that out and see if you're actually subscribed, and also leave a like while you're down there. It'd be really helpful. It helps get more views. Either way, let's begin. As most of you probably know by now, after Tommy got caught, he was pulled back to the other side of the prison area while Ghostspur stayed there with Dream. Dream, of course, would end up killing Ghostspur in order to try and revive Wilbur. And ultimately, they would discover Wilbur back where he originally died all that time ago. Today, I want to break down a theory going over what might happen next in the Dream SMP. As we've already been told, Dream plans on doing a lore stream sometime soon. And going off the fact how Dream doesn't normally do lore streams and he leaves it to everyone else to do the lore streaming on the Dream SMP, this may be something extraordinarily important and can also only be viewed via Dream's point of view. Right now, most people still think that this lore stream will potentially have something to do with Dream finally escaping prison, considering one of the leaked clips that Dream showed us in one of his streams a little while back so happens to be him and Sam walking around in the prison. Ever since this entire thing was described to us and how Dream has this big lore stream that is going to happen soon, I've had quite a few different theories popping around in my head, but today I've got one that I wanted to present to everyone else now that we've got a little more information and now Wilbur's been revived. First off, I believe the next thing that will likely happen is that Wilbur is going to meet up with Philza. This of course is somewhat logical considering how Philza was the one who killed Wilbur, as well as tried to revive Wilbur on several different occasions. Going off of what happened in the back end of Rambu's stream after the lore stream, where Rambu tells Philza about what happened and how Wilbur is now back alive, we also know that Philza does want to talk to Wilbur to see how much he has changed in the time frame that he was stuck in quote-unquote hell. Someone is of course going to eventually fill Wilbur in on what exactly has happened and what's transpired since the time frame that he was gone. One of the key points that will probably stick out in Wilbur's mind is the fact that Philza took part in the destruction of L'Manberg the second time round. And it almost seems logical that Wilbur will want to go find Philza after finding out this key information, wanting to question why Philza tried to stop Wilbur the first time round, but in the second time round Philza allowed L'Manberg to get destroyed, in fact even helped it happen. The situation where Philza and Wilbur meet up, there might be many different possibilities that could come out of this. Either A, they become permanent foes and be endlessly against each other, maybe due to a certain disagreement, or maybe Wilbur's changed too much in a way that Philza no longer likes him, or they may potentially still consider each other friends rather than being foes, and potentially might work together to accomplish a few different things. One of the biggest things to note with this theory is that Wilbur now considers Dream to be his hero. And despite all the things that Dream has done since Wilbur died, I doubt that will be enough to actually convince Wilbur to not believe that Dream is a hero. So considering if Philza and Wilbur end up staying friends and Wilbur gets brought over to their area that they currently live in, there is a very high chance that Wilbur will catch up with Technoblade and potentially might discuss some ideas on what they could be doing next. One of the other theories that I want to mix in here that is still pretty highly likely to have happened in the past is that in one of his Enderwalk stages, Rambu stole one of the nukes from Hubbo's town. As a majority of the evidence that is around the area when the nuke was stolen leads to it being a very high possibility that it was Rambu, we can also put on an assumption that there's a very high possibility that Rambu will help get Dream out of prison. The idea behind this is that Dream might potentially finally call in his favor with Technoblade, and with the help of Wilbur and potentially Rambu in his Enderwalk stage, they will probably use the nuke to break a hole open in the prison. This will likely happen around the time while Dream is walking around the prison with Sam in order to make it a lot easier to actually get Dream out of the prison in that scenario. The parts that people may play when it comes down to how they get out of prison will be all dependent on many different things. An idea that might become a possibility is that Wilbur might either distract everyone else in the server from what's happening, or might be used to take out Sam in the process, or maybe a bunch of other things that could just be brought up out of random and out of left field. Of course, there's one thing that's been mentioned and discussed by both Dream and Rambu on a stream where they just chatted about the lore of Dream SMP not on seriously, where they discuss the point about the fact that the finale of the current quote-unquote season of the Dream SMP is going to end with an unexpected finale that will bring all the story arcs of this current variation of the Dream SMP together in one big conclusion. The idea of it being something that would be unexpected and coming out of left field does leave a lot to questions like, will he actually get out of prison or things along those lines, or will someone else get locked into prison? And another interesting piece of information that we got from that same stream was how they discuss about the fact that the prison is still going to play an important part to the lore for at least the next several months. So going off of that knowledge, it's also possible that Dream might never actually get broken out of prison, at least for a little while longer, or maybe someone else might get locked up into prison after the breakout. Maybe Wilbur or even Technoblade might get caught by Sam and shoved into the prison, or maybe a bunch of other things might potentially happen. But that's all I have for today's video, so as always, make sure to hit the like button down below, but until next time guys, I'm heading back to the dark place which I once came. Goodbye!